Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Coast-to-Coast Combat Hour. I'm your host, Matthew Hawkins, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Ed Carbajal. Ed, how's it going, my man?
Pretty good, man. As we've entered my favorite month of the year, October, for many reasons, and it's fall. The good beers come out, Halloween, horror movies, all that shit. So I'm pretty stoked to. And we started quick off the month with our first UFC pay-per-view of the year.
Absolutely. But before we get into that, which we're going to do our picks on the main card like we usually do, RIZIN 48 was this past weekend. I took advantage of the free pay-per-view which they were offering. Watched the first couple fights on Saturday night and then watched the rest Sunday evening. Because for some reason RIZIN doesn't seem to make Twitter as long as you avoid Kaposa online for a couple hours. But fun event, man. Some knockouts to start the night. Had my weekend made by a multiple grounded knee KO. Like just absolutely beautiful to see. With some forceful shots being landed in a grounded knee position. I loved it.
Yeah, I keep telling the people from my gym that are younger and never watch Japanese MMA. I keep telling them, you got to watch it, dude. It's all electrifying stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean it adds. It's amazing how you can watch in that set two guys who are like 11 and 15 fighting each other, and it just has such a different feeling than if you were watching that same fight at some other random regional event in the United States, So, but again, those guys fighting are more because they're just known in their areas. It's not some of the fights, like I said, it's not about seriousness completely. It's about grudge matches. It's about kind of territorial rule. It's about street violence a little bit. Who's kind of you know what I mean? Some of that stuff. So
fun stuff.
Fun. Izawa goes undefeated, continues to be undefeated, moves to 14-0. Arguably, I don't think she's arguable anymore. At this point, she's basically the number one 105 to like 110 pound female fighter on the planet right now. She beat Kana Asakura, who put up a nice battle to the end, even in ending it with a foot stomp from up top. But she loses the decision after the first two rounds really didn't go her way. A lot of ground fighting in there. Did you happen to catch some of it, or what did you?
Yeah, no, I didn't want to. As you were jumping up on the card or climbing through the card, I didn't want to bring up because I don't watch it. You're 3 hours behind me, so you get more of a live time to watch it. But Satoshi, like the stoppage on the Satoshi fight,
weak.
I thought it was a little premature.
Yeah, and I was disappointed. It was Ryan Miner was the referee too, who I know from Bellator and stuff like that. I don't know. I was kind of surprised. Usually, you see the Japanese referee, and they're notorious for quick stoppages as well. But I didn't like the stoppage at all. I thought he was in a terrible position to actually see what Gustavo. If he was actually damaged because he jumped up really quick. But it was definitely a little disappointing. I was, Juan Archuleta got worked over. I mean, he's running tough. Yeah. He fought a guy who was undefeated. We kind of scrambled his name up on last week. But Shea Duliev moves to 11-0 with a quick first round armbar finish. Violent armbar too, like belly down. It kind of just makes you squirm for a minute, and especially when you see an American fighter fighting, overseas.
And if you know what a strong armbar feels like, I mean, that's
considering his last fight, I thought he blew his knee out, which we were lucky that he didn't blow his knee out in his last fight. And you just, I still have that feeling from the old days where you're kind of like, and I imagine foreigners feel the same way in the U.S. when there's a long flight home and the last thing you want to be trying to do is fly home with a brace or
God,
cast it up, not to mention that usually because of blood clots and stuff you can get caught in that other country for quite a while before it's safe for you to actually travel.
Hey, what's up, Antoine? Funny you should mention that. We were talking about it before. Antoine asked, what's up, guys? Y'all tuning in to Dana White Contender Series right now. Yeah. So
Fight's just starting.
we actually have
Yeah.
it on. Matt's got it on the background because we really want to. I really want to know what's up with Torres Finney and like how many times are going to make the poor guy fight. So that's going on.
Torres Finney with an immediate takedown 10 seconds into the fight. He's got his opponent, Urami, up against the cage. Kind of wrapped up one leg like the Khabib kind of wrap up. Dude's fighting to get up, pulls the arm out. Working to take back now. Getting the hooks in, flattening him out. Dude turns over, full mount. Finney has full mount, raining down punches. Dude turns. I shouldn't say dude. El Rami turns. Kind of on his side now. Some punches, mostly looking for a submission. Kind of high up though on the back right now. He's got this, but he's just flattened him out. No, got up again. Yeah, so he's just working. He's trying to pancake him down. Oh, dude, still controls. Head and arm choke. Head and arm choke. Full mount. If he sits out, this fight is. Oh, the dude's fighting it, but the cage might cause Finney to have some issues. But he's got locked up from mount right now.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, full mount. I thought the guy tapped. But it wasn't. It wasn't. It was a. Oh man, it is tight. Finney is a strong dude, man. Yeah, that squeezes.
I just hope he doesn't burn out his muscles if he doesn't.
I mean, we're a minute and a half in. The dude gave a thumbs up, but he's. I think if Finney were to try to sit out, it's just the thing is the guy's got a good kind of shrimp on him. Okay, he gets out of it. Finney's still in the mount, raining down some hammer fists right now to the side of his head. It's gonna be interesting though. We'll see. We'll see. There's a lot of muscles there.
His gas was kind of like that and the gas might have been an issue the last time. I would imagine he's been so turned on with training that he corrected that, but I mean the guy's a machine, so hopefully he doesn't.
He's in half guard right now. Still controlling, raining down some punches. Nothing crazy landing, but definitely controlling the fight. But fatigue here could be interesting. So we'll keep updated on that as things progress in that fight. Anything else in RIZIN that jumped out at you? I mean, we had the Khan Asakar retired. I don't know.
Yeah.
We kind of went over that, but she left her gloves in the ring. They did a 10-bell salute, which I had never seen for a living person. So that was kind of odd to me. But whatever brings respect to somebody. I mean, she's awesome. Her whole from starting in high school and eventually winning the championship and stuff. I mean, she was just fun to watch over the last 7-8 years in that organization. So hate to see it go, but she goes with a good competitive fight against the number one fighter in the world. So unless these people are becoming, and I don't know what her backstory is, to be honest. I don't know unless she's becoming an engineer or something. You got to believe that there's a good chance that we see these people compete again somewhere down the line, especially when they're walking away at a young age. But good for her. I imagine she's got some money in the bank, and I'm sure Saki Kabara takes care of her and the locals there that really kind of keep that engine running over there. They have still on the mount, still working mount. Still first round, minute 15 remaining. Position really hasn't changed much. Kind of.
How does he look though? Does he look like he's?
He doesn't look like he's ready to run a marathon. Okay, he's trying to take the back again. He's just a big dude, man. Big muscle bound dude. Okay. Yeah. Got him flattened out again. Raining punches 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to the side of the head. Referee looking close. 12, 13, 25 unanswered punches. That's it. Waves it off. First round TKO Finney. 4 minutes, 10 seconds. Dana White with a big smile on his face.
Yeah.
Yep. So it looks like the story's going to be a happy ending here.
We will see.
We'll see. He's dancing. First round dominated. He took the guy down. He just did a little dance in front of Dana White. Dana White's laughing. I think things are all. I think all's going to end well. And when it's all said and done, Finney's just going to have to add 3 more wins to his record, having competed in this, and he's going to get his shot. It looks like.
I hope so.
I mean, it was a flawless victory. He didn't even get touched, so it would be hard.
He knocked the guy out in the other one. I mean.
Correct, but you don't
Yeah.
know as much about a guy when you get a kind of a quick little knockout like this. This was pure domination. I don't know a lot about the guy he fought, but once he got his back, flattened him out the final time, he was relentless. He, like I said, it was literally 30, 40 unanswered punches, hammer fist. Nothing. I mean, not it wasn't wasn't lightning ground and pound, but it was big, heavy shots. Good win. Good fight. So, with that said, why don't we move to the UFC pay-per-view? And to answer your question, Antoine, yes, the debate will probably be something we'll be jumping on after all of this other stuff unfolds here. We get done with the show tonight. I know that starts in about 15 minutes, but we got to do our UFC pay-per-view picks. We have a big UFC pay-per-view, UFC 307, Salt Lake City, Utah. Somewhere the UFC seems to go now. It's kind of become a hotbed. I know BKFC's had some shows there. That was where the King of Violence fight was. So it's interesting to kind of see what's going on in Salt Lake City exactly for fights. But the UFC's been there a handful of times, a couple times in the last couple of years. So.
Yeah, got to bring up my notes. Hold on. So my notes that I did for this. That way I don't talk out my ass.
Everybody online, Amy Kaplan, a bunch of other people.
Yeah.
No questions remained after this performance. No doubt, left no doubt in the cage. So good. Just gave Dana White a hug. Dana's fist bumping him.
I hope that means it better mean. Imagine if he says,
if he tells him no now, it'd actually be kind of the most heel movie he could ever make.
Yeah. That's like when's the Netflix Dana White documentary series coming out?
I feel it's coming. It might not be for another 25 years, but
yeah.
All right, well, let's jump right to this. Right off the bat, nice. I like the card, deep card.
Yeah.
No mega fights, but I do like even going down to the early prelims. I mean, Tim Means, Court McGee kicking the night off to me is Tim Means is a can't miss fight.
Yeah.
Court McGee is longtime guy, could add things. I don't like Carla Esparza this low on the card. I think it's disrespectful. I know she wasn't the most grandiose champion of all time, but she was a 2-time champion, and she lost her belts to Joanna and Whaley. It's not like she lost them to some jobbers.
Yeah, man, look, they got OSP on the Fight Pass prelims too.
Correct, but that's a fight actually that was supposed to already have happened, and they had to reschedule for here. I understand him down there. I just a 2-time champion. Even if you're I understand you can't just put Thompson, everybody on the main card with Aldo, but I do think she should be,
I mean, honestly, if I'm talking about the design of the card, I feel like, and I know they already have a Pennington Pena for the co-main event, so I feel like Vieira Harrison could have been the featured ESPN prelim, and Thompson Buckley could have been bumped up, but that's just me. But
I don't disagree with that at all. I do think that, but again, for us sitting at home and going to watch 90% of the fights, if not all of them anyway, who really cares the order? We got some good fights.
Yeah.
Is it a pay-per-view level? No. This would be it has 2 title fights and Pereira obviously in it, but it's not the greatest pay-per-view card, but it is a good fight card that I would watch in any scenario. To me, this is like the perfect old school fight night card.
Yeah.
Other than the 2 title fights. If they were non-title fights on the top of the card, that's what it would look like to me. With that said, the pay-per-view kicks off with Roman Dolidze versus Kevin Holland. I feel like Kevin Holland, we said this before, seems like he fights every other weekend. I'm going with Dolidze. He had a nice win over Anthony Smith in his last fight, late fight to help salvage the 303 card. And he dominated Smith. I'm going to stick with him. I don't know about Holland still. He's fun to watch. I don't miss his fights, but picking him to win is a little bit of a chore these days because I just don't know what Kevin Holland is going to show up.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything you said, but I'm actually picking Holland on this one, just because I feel like they're both coming off a win, so it's not like he's
No, I
been
agree.
losing.
Yeah, yeah. I
But
mean, I think it's going to be a good fight, and I want to pick Holland. I'll be rooting for Holland if I'm being
yeah,
totally honest here. I don't know. I feel like I've been burnt by him so many times in. Well, I'm kind of like, okay, yeah, he's going to beat this guy. He's got more raw skills than this guy. He should be able to
yeah,
win, but then he figures out a way to. I don't know. Maybe it's
yeah,
just because he
and
fights so
that's
much. It's just the losses are so fresh in my mind as opposed to people that fight once every 2 years.
the thing that makes me pick him, though. What you just said about how he finds a way. Like I always feel like he can find a way to win, especially when you count him out. So that's why I got him picked to win. But of all the fights on this card, I'm not gonna lie. Right now, this fight right here is the one I'm most interested in seeing. Vieira versus Harrison.
Yeah, I mean, other than probably the main event, this fight has the most. I mean, other than the title fights, because that changes people's lives
Mm.
and trajectory of kind of fights we get to see. This fight has a lot of. I mean, basically, this is a number one contender fight. I don't. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like they're not going to mess around with Harrison too long. They're at some point they're going to give her. This will be her second win. If she picks this up, I think she probably gets a title fight. I don't see any reason to avoid the inevitable. I think her and Pena, who I will be picking later on,
Mhm.
I think that makes a good fight. I think there's some potential good jab between the two of them. And I think it opens up kind of an interesting stylistic matchup in a sense. You have a wrestler against somebody who's pretty damn good off the ground, and to
Mhm.
me that always you never know. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
historically, a lot of times you figure the wrestlers can grind their way out, but every time a wrestler grinds their way out, somebody gets caught with an armbar. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I think that potentially sets up. I think Harrison wins this fight. I don't think it's going to be an easy fight.
No.
Um, but I do think that she's on a mission right now, and I think for the UFC's sake and for this whole women's division's sake, I think they need her to win.
Yeah, I agree. I'm also picking Harrison to win as well, probably by decision. The thing is, they both have black belts in judo. Harrison's obviously Olympic level judo because of her experience, but I feel like what we're gonna get here what we should have gotten when she fought Holly Holm. Um, like this is gonna be her true test. Holly Holm was supposed to be her test, and Holly Holm, I don't know what she shit the bed or whatever in her game plan when she fought Harrison. So this fight I'm expecting to be tougher for her, and I'm assuming because of both of their grappling pedigrees, they're going to want to test out who's got the better striking here. And I just feel like if any clinch work happens, Harrison's probably got better strength to win in the clinch. And if it does get to grappling, I think her power will probably help her out there. So I got her winning. I don't know if a finish happens. I think more like a decision. Let's move on to and she's minus 900. Just wanted to before we move on. Minus 900 to Vera's plus 600 based on the UFC.com
I
DraftKings
with those
odds.
I like Vera with those odds. Those are heavy odds.
Yeah.
I there's yeah. If I'm in Vegas, I'm putting a couple bucks on Vieira, but I do think
Mm-hmm.
Harrison is going to win the fight,
Yeah,
most
if you're gonna
likely.
bet by decision for Harrison.
Yeah.
Um Jose Aldo versus Mario Bautista.
I mean, I don't care what the odds are. I don't care what it is. I'm not picking against Jose Aldo. I want Jose Aldo by domination. Let's say flying knee knockout second round.
Mm.
There it is.
I mean, I could see that happening early for him, but Bautista's got a wrestling heavy style. I think he can if he copies the playbook that Marab put out there when he faced Aldo, I think he can pull off a decision. I don't think he gets finished. I mean, still Jose Aldo, but he is 38, and I mean it's not.
Yeah, but Marab never took Aldo down. He was like 0 for 18.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying the pressure and all that. It might
I
favor
hope not. I
Bautista.
hope not. I hope not. That's not how we see Aldo coming to an
Mm,
end in a grinding fight. If he loses, I hope he goes out on his shield, and the other dude
yeah.
just is not trying to hug him up against the cage.
Mm-hmm.
No reason for that. And I don't think we're going to see that. I think we're going to see a fight where two guys are trying to to finish each other. I mean, obviously Aldo would be a huge name on Batista's resume as well, as this is the biggest fight he's ever had. But yeah, I'm picking Aldo. I'm not going to pick against. I don't pick against the legends that are keeping it going, and I have no reason to. I mean, the odds show him as a slight underdog, but I mean, you're essentially
plus 124.
124 is nothing. So I think it's going to be a good fight. Co-main event: Raquel Pennington, Juliana Pena. I said it when she won it. We entered the Pennington era. I think the Pennington era, though, will be short-lived. I think Juliana Pena wins this fight. I think she wins it in dominating fashion. I'm going to even say TKO like 4th round. I think she's going to take her down and beat her up. I don't, I hope that happens. I respect the hell out of Pennington, but I don't want to watch her fight a bunch of times. Her time's come and gone for me. She's not super exciting to me. I've seen her just in so many boring fights that it's hard to want her to be the one carrying the strap here. I'd rather it be Pena. I think her and Harrison sets up a good fight, and I think there's more there. I think Pennington Harrison doesn't have the meat on the bone that the other one does. For a kind of a I don't know when that fight would ever take place, but that fight could co-main event like a fight week if it's Pena and Harrison, just because of the shit talk and the what that could be a co-main eventer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, we're both on the same page with this one. I got Pena to pick to win as well. Just I can't add more to what you already said. Main event: Alex Pereira versus Khalil Rountree Jr. The fight that nobody seemed to want, but now I'm not disinterested in it. I like Khalil Rountree despite whatever people are up in arms about because of his PED issue or whatever it was.
No, I like him. I like watching him fight. I like the fight. It just, the fight didn't make sense to me. And I think a lot of people, when you had Akilev, who was clearly the number one, who was booked the week after, just odd booking, but it's the matchmaking. They're trying to make money. This fight has banger written all over it. On a card maybe where they had to think like an Ankalev boring decision could, you know what I mean? Like, you got to kind of look at everything else. Like, this fight ends in a KO either way. It kind of ends the night in a everybody goes home pretty happy. Where the other one, you have a option for something that, fans could be walking out in the 4th round.
Yeah. I feel like, I feel like if anybody's got a puncher's chance against Pereira, it is Rountree too, because he does come with a lot of aggression. I feel like as far as being well rounded, he might give Pereira problems too if he can get to his legs and take him down, and that's what makes the fight interesting. So, that being said, it's hard to pick against Pereira. He's on such.
I'm picking Pereira to win by first, second round knockout. But I do think what you said is true. I think if Rountree comes out with a smart game plan, I think it could make for an interesting few minutes while we try to figure out kind of how it can unfold. History tells me he's going to stand in front of Pereira and try to, you know what I mean? Like, the game plans seem to always get thrown out the window. Like, that's what separates guys kind of that are goats from guys that are just contenders is the goats stick to their strongest, and don't it's the Damian Maia not trying to take down or, you know what I mean? Like, certain things just don't make friggin' sense. We've seen it with a lot with Pereira, not a lot, but we saw it with Strickland, some of these other guys who were just like, okay, I'm just going to stand in front of this guy and test of might. And that just doesn't seem to end well with this guy, as he seems like he's a psycho. So, I'm gonna pick Pereira to win, knockout, first half of the fight. But I do look forward to sitting on the edge of my seat for like that first 45 seconds, because I think it's going to be you know what I mean? You don't know.
Yeah.
When they set me in the center, it's going to be fireworks for as long as it lasts, and I feel like but we just haven't seen anybody take Pereira's shot and walk away from it, really. When he hits you, you don't get up.
Especially if he gets that shovel hook or whatever, that weird uppercut that he throws and drops everybody with.
Correct.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I think that's going to wrap us up in perfect time for anyone listening to tune into the debate tonight. Fans can follow the show at Combat Hour on Twitter, Coast to Coast Combat Hour on Instagram. Follow me, Matthew Hawkins, at MMA Hawk 21 on Twitter and Instagram. Follow Edit Carbizol on Twitter, Carbeerzol on Instagram, and Old Head Carb on Twitch. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for listening, everyone, and have a good night and a good week.
Peace.